You know that feeling, right? That awful, awkward moment in a conversation when your mind just goes completely blank? It is so frustrating. But what if I told you there's a pretty simple way to make sure that almost never happens again? Let's get into it.
So you're chatting with someone, it's going fine, and then, poof, nothing. Your mind is a total blank slate. It's this universally awkward feeling, but here's the good news. You're not alone in this, and there is absolutely a way to fix it.
I kind of like to think of it as a mental traffic jam. You've got all these thoughts, but they're all stuck in gridlock and nobody's moving. Or maybe it's more like your brain is buffering. You get that spinning wheel of death right when you need to say something witty. The most important thing to remember here is that this doesn't mean you're boring. It's just a little glitch in the system.
So, what is actually going on inside our heads during these moments? Well, to understand that, we need to talk about something called the conversation paradox. Okay, this right here is the core idea that is going to change how you think about conversation forever. The problem isn't that your mind is empty, it's that your mental filter is working overtime. Your brain is coming up with plenty of things to say, but it's shooting them down before they even get a chance to see the light of day.
So here's the big mindset shift. We tell ourselves, I have nothing to say. When the reality is, we have too many ideas that are being judged and dismissed instantly. You are not struggling with an empty brain. You are struggling with a hyperactive, over-the-top filter.
And this is just a brilliant way to picture it, right? Imagine a bouncer standing at the door of your mouth. An idea comes up. Oh, that reminds me that one time, and the bouncer just shoves it right back. Nope, that's not clever enough. Too random. Get out of here. And what are you left with? Yeah, silence.
Okay, so if our own internal bouncer is the problem, how in the world do we sneak past him? Let's look at some really practical tools to do just that.
The answer is speed. You literally have to be faster than your own self-doubt, and the magic number here is 3. This is your number one weapon. The moment a thought or a question or just some random observation pops into your head, you've got a 3-second window to say it out loud. If you wait any longer, that mental bouncer, that overthinker, steps in and just shuts it all down. You have to launch the idea before your brain has time to delete it.
Oh man, this is so important. Think about it. We don't filter ourselves around our best friends, right? We just talk. Give yourself permission to do that with everyone. It doesn't have to be some profound, hilarious, perfect sentence. It just has to be real. And that's where true connection actually starts.
But okay, what about those moments when the 3-second rule doesn't quite work because your mind truly feels like an empty void? Well, the trick is to take all the pressure off yourself entirely. Stop trying to talk and start trying to investigate.
The second you become genuinely curious about the other person, your own anxiety just kind of melts away. You're no longer worried about, do I sound smart? Or is this interesting? Instead, your brain is focused on, wait, tell me more about that. You stop trying to perform and you start trying to connect. And believe me, people can feel the difference.
All right, so you've gotten the conversation started. You used the 3-second rule, or you switched into detective mode. But how do you stop it from crashing into that awkward wall of silence a few minutes later?
This is where most conversations die. Someone gives a short answer, and we have no idea where to go next. The key is to listen for specific little details in what they say, notice what part genuinely sparks your interest, and then just zoom in on that one thing. Don't be afraid to ask 2 or 3 questions about the exact same topic.
So think of every sentence someone says as a collection of little conversation threads. In this one sentence here, you could pull on the hiking thread, the Colorado thread, the brother thread, or even the awful weather thread. This gives you so many different paths you can take. If one thread doesn't go anywhere, no big deal, just grab another one.
You know, great conversations also have a rhythm to them. They're not all light, surface-level stuff like nice weather, but they also aren't some intense therapy session about your biggest fears. The goal is to find that sweet spot, to find the balance. You can start light, go a little deeper, and then bounce back to something fun. It keeps the energy dynamic and honestly comfortable for everyone.
And now for our final section, the emergency plan. What do you do when, despite all your best efforts, your brain just decides to take an unscheduled vacation right in the middle of a sentence?
Here are 2 super simple rescue tricks. First, the environment scan. Just say something, anything about your immediate surroundings. Wow, this place has great music. Or, I really like the art on the walls. It's so simple, but it just resets the flow. Second, the callback. Go back to a detail they mentioned earlier in the conversation. Wait, you said you grew up in Turkey? What was that like? It instantly shows you were paying attention, and it restarts the whole chat.
It is always a good idea to have a few of these emergency questions ready to go in your back pocket. The key here is that they're open-ended. They can't be answered with a simple yes or no. They actually invite the other person to share a little story or an opinion, which is a fantastic way to get things moving again.
And finally, how you end a conversation matters just as much as how you start it. Don't just let it trail off awkwardly. Use this simple 3-step formula. It's clear, it's polite, and it leaves the other person feeling really good about the whole interaction.
So if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. This isn't about performing or delivering the perfect, witty line. It's about letting go of that inner critic, showing up as your real self, and just focusing on genuinely connecting with the person right there in front of you.
At the end of the day, the only way to get better at this stuff is to practice. So the question isn't just how to have a conversation, but which one are you going to have next? Take these tools and go connect with someone. You've got this.